Capital Community Television, in cooperation with the United States Australian Football League, presents the 2016 USAFL Western Regional Tournament from Salem, Oregon. Today's game features a combination of the Minnesota Freeze and Portland Sockeye ladies taking on the Sacramento Lady Suns. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally. Great to have you along for this tournament of Australian rules football as it's played here in the United States. This is the first of 9 games that we'll have for you here today from Salem in one of the biggest tournaments in the U.S. and one of the biggest tournaments outside of Australia for this great sport. And Anthony, I know you've been following some of these teams. What are you looking forward most to about not only today but this particular game?
First of all, it's a great venue here in Salem, Oregon. We've got a wonderful complex. We'll have 2 fields able to play a men's D1, D2 plus the women's division. Obviously, the form of the LA Dragons leading into the tournament is exciting for us to be able to see them in the flesh. See how the Orange County Bombers respond. A few losses last year. Very excited to see some of the female players too, who we have on our list here for the Freedom Camp coming up on Sunday. So this first game will be great to get started on the tournament.
And of course, the USA Freedom women's national team, which will be competing next year at the AFL International Cup in Melbourne, Australia. One of the players that we want to mention in this first game, of course, we have the Minnesota Freeze combined with the local team here, the Portland Sockeyes. But we want to start real quick with the Sacramento Lady Suns, and their key player is Katie Clatt. We were talking about it yesterday, and
yeah,
Katie,
absolutely.
this will be her last game with the Suns, last set of games before she goes to Australia to play for Melbourne University. And Anthony, I think that's really a big, not only obviously for her, but also for women's footy here in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of very talented women that have come through different sports. Katie, of course, background in field hockey, very successful there. And with the emerging professional league in Australia for women, I know that there's certainly an eye on the US, in terms of talent identification. So, it's a great opportunity for her, and hopefully she's able to pioneer that for others.
Yeah, now the team they're playing today is a combination team. We have the Portland Sockeyes, the local team, which their women's program is burgeoning, especially with the help of Heather Serpico, who has come across from New York after playing 3 seasons to help put the team together. And also the Minnesota Freeze, who were giant killers last year at the national championships in Austin. They actually ended the Denver Lady Bulldogs' 23-game win streak at national championships. So who are you looking forward to? We're looking forward to a couple of players for them as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, having the Portland girls play in as well, I'm a little bit more aware of the players in the Northwest being from this area. But, Simone Shepherd, I always enjoy watching. Such a competitor, really in there, hard on the ball all the time. So she's definitely a player that I'm excited to see today. Yeah,
and there's a lot of exciting players, and as you mentioned, a lot of prospects. We have the national team selectors on hand, Coach Lee Barnes, among others here. Should be a great day of footy. If you've never seen Australian rules football before, well, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. We'll be back with the first bounce of this one when we come back to Salem after these messages.
Support for tonight's program was provided by MAPS Credit Union, premier sponsor of Salem Kaiser Schools. Visit one of our convenient locations in the Willamette Valley or our website, mapscu.com. And by Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing since 1952. Experience the Les Schwab difference at your neighborhood Les Schwab Tire Center or visit us on the web at leschwab.com.
And welcome back to the Capital FC Timbers training complex here in Salem, Oregon, as we get set for this women's division match between the Sacramento Lady Suns and the combination of the Minnesota Freeze and the Portland Sockeyes. They are going to be wearing the Sockeyes jumpers. Those are brand new jumpers. They're in the blue jumpers with the we'll call that salmon color trim, and the Suns in the red and yellow, as the teams meeting here for some last minute instructions by our umpires, and then they'll come out and we'll have a coin toss. Now, the only thing they'll decide from this coin toss is basically which way that whoever wins it will pick which direction they want to kick in the first half. As we take a look at the players here, Alan, let's really sort of set up the game for if people who are watching who may not be familiar.
No, absolutely. So the first thing you'll notice is it's quite an expansive playing surface. And the unique thing about Australian rules football is there isn't actually a formal field dimension, although there are ranges. Most fields get up. We have the opportunity to play a full-size field here, or a largish field, 160 to 180 metres long. Some of them get as wide as 140 metres, and it's an oval shape. So you will see a lot of expansive running. There isn't a linear onside offside like people might be used to with soccer or rugby or football. So that's something else unique. There'll be a lot of movement of players around. There's 18 players, so there's a lot of coverage. Those players are broken into 5 main lines with 3 roaming players.
Right, and they're the on-ballers, so to speak.
Yes. So they run a lot in a game. Today we're in a round-robin format for the tournament, so we're going to have 20-minute halves as opposed to a 20-minute quarters, so they're half-length games. But we're still expecting probably some of the on-ballers to run 3 miles upwards in that period of time.
Yep. So when you get the ball, so the object of the game is on either side of the field. There are 4 goalposts, and each team is trying to kick towards those goalposts. If you kick it between the 2 big sticks in the middle, it's a goal. It's worth 6 points. If you kick it between one of the big ones and one of the little ones on each side, it's worth 1 point. When you get the ball, you can either run with it, provided that you either touch it to the ground or bounce it every 15 meters.
Yes.
You can handball it. You're not allowed to throw it. You have to hold it in one hand and hit it out of your hand with the other. And, of course, you can kick it. You're going to see a lot of kicking on the fly. If you have the ball, you're liable to be tackled anywhere between the shoulders and the knees.
And here we go. So the umpire's just getting ready here for the ball up.
So the Sockeyes are, as I said, in the blue jumpers heading from left to right on your screen. The Suns are in the red and the gold going from right to left. Simone Shepard looks to be in the ruck for, so the game's going to begin with a ball up here.
Here we go.
And it's the ruck contest in the middle, and we are underway as Shepard punches it forward for Portland. Clatt for Sacramento went and couldn't get it. Schoenagel picks it up and handballs it back. She handballs it back on to Casey O'Connor for Sacramento. And then Shepard with it. She'll kick it with her right foot. It is high and deep, looking for Pop and can't get it. It pops straight out in front. The Sockeyes still have it, and down the ground it goes, and it's a free kick.
So the Sockeyes are definitely ready for this game. You saw good, aggressive contest there for the ball earlier.
And it's going to be a tackle here, and it's to Mackenzie Sakura, and she finds Clatt, who comes out to the near side. Katie Clatt, we'll keep an eye on her. Nice mark by Elizabeth Danielson, who had a great tournament at Nationals last year. She's relatively new. There's a torp almost marked, and it goes to ground. A little one-on-one contest as Owen Wynn picks it up for Sacramento. She's looking to handball it. Instead, she kicks it. It'll drop in short, looking for a teammate. And then going on, digging after it there is a Paige Kicker, one of the Minnesota players for the Sockeyes team, up over the top looking for a teammate, can't get to it. O'Connor got handcuffed by it, and now it's a worm burner. Clatt in and out of the hands, but then continued on by the Sockeyes, handballed it into the middle, and then another handball, and Clatt will pick it up. She'll go back where she finds Helen Harvey, and Helen Harvey kicks that one up on that far side. It takes a bounce and then pops to Olivia Christensen for Sacramento. And now it's a turnover, and there's Shepard with a booming kick. That one going deep in towards the pocket, looking for Nafla Poff, who can't get to it. It goes to the ground. Serpico is right there, and she wraps up her opponent. Looks like Carly Hartman. The ball is tied up on the ground. Handballs it back. There's a kick off the side of the boot. Looking for the corner, digging after it again. It looks like it's Serpico. She picks up, that might be a high tackle,
hit.
And it is.
Yes. You see the umpire mark the shoulder there just to recognize that it is above the shoulder. Therefore, we've got a free kick.
So free kick here. So
very close to the goals. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so going back to take it, there was Jessica Nelson for the Sockeyes. So what will happen is she will have to go straight back.
And here's our slow motion replay, keeping an eye out. Definitely a high grab.
Now they're going to play on handball. It's going in short, and it's out, but it looks like it was deflected, and it is for a behind. So the first point of the game, as it goes through one of the big sticks and one of the little ones off to the side, goes to the Sockeyes, and they lead 1-0. Now, you do see the score in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. The G is the number of goals. The B is the number of behinds. And then the T is the total points. So the actual score will be under the T. Play continues as the kick in from the near side. Here is Shepard. Clough pursues her, the 2 rucks. Clough is able to pick it up. She's immediately tackled by Shepard. They continue to play on. Usually the ball is called there, but it's still played on in dispute. Wynn was able to find Clough again, and then into the middle as Sacramento controls it. O'Connor looks to handball it back.
Schreib is on ball.
And there's another one. Here is Wynn with a left-handed handball looking for Clatt, who's able to pick it up. Clatt with a long kick deep inside. This is their first attacking chance for the Suns. Picking it up there, and then a long handball. There was, it looked like was
great
18, which was
disposal out
Smith.
in front for Smith, yes.
Yeah, great job. But then Portland is able to stand up to it. It's back in the back pocket, and they'll have a chance to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and get rid of it. They continue it up on that far side and picked up again by one of the Sockeyes. They're playing really good defense here in the early going. And then a long handball up over the top looking for Simone Shepard. Klo is there to close in again. That's a one-on-one contest. Kwoka in there for Sacramento in there with the head protection. And then picked up by Serpico. Serpico will continue it up for the Sockeyes. And now Sakura, number 35 for Sacramento, able to pick it up. And then looking for Harvey. Continued forward by Portland. And now stripped and dispossessed. And here's Clatt again, who's all over the place on that forward side. And I believe that's going to be tackling without the ball, and it is.
So frantic first 6 minutes or so, Brian.
Yes.
Definitely both teams feeling each other out. We've got a lot of good on-ball aggression, some good checking. Checking, of course, is a shoulder, which is legal in football and a fairly good way to hold your ground. Great mark plucked out of the sky there.
Yeah, nice defensive mark by Shepard. Now, she was co-best on Best and Fairest last year in the Western Regional, which was held in Sacramento with Carly Smolak of San Francisco, who we'll see a little bit later on. Great job to shake away. She kicks out one long and deep, one-on-one contest. Can't take the mark, but there to clear it out is Hartman. Carly Hartman with a long kick. It'll one-hop, it'll two-hop. Shepard almost gets it, now picks it up with a little bit of time. She gets away from Klo and then finds a teammate in Paige Kicker. Kicker will kick that one up on the far side, as is her name. And then finding a teammate and now looking and plays that one into the middle, looking for another teammate. Not getting to it is Nelson, but a good job by the Sacramento defender to get to it. And then a whistle, and it will be a free kick, as it looks like they held. Looks like it's going to be a holding call.
So I'll tell you what, Simone Shepard's had quite a few disposals already, and if you watch her closely, it's amazing how quick she can transfer.
Yeah, she is very, very fast, and she's a football player as well, that being gridiron. And that some of that is translated. Kicker again can't hold on to it. Shepard does get it. She gives it, passes it on.
Oh, a little bit of daylight.
Yeah, a little bit of daylight, a little bit of real estate. It's going to roll. She keeps to it, paddles it to herself. There does Nelson again. But Sacramento is there, and as we mentioned, probably one of the best defenses in the USAFL, and they're proving it. As
Absolutely.
Klo gets it onto her right foot, long kick up, looking for Andrea Squilla, but can't get to it. Ball to the ground, stacks on the mill, everyone gets down, and now the ball squirts out. Squilla does a good job of crumbing. She can't pick it up cleanly. And now continued on in there again, it looks like is Klo, as is O'Connor. Stripped and dispossessed and then picked up by Portland. Long kick up on that far side. And it's marked.
Here we go.
Yeah, good.
More
And now here they come. There's a handball out into the middle. Schoenagel watching for Sacramento. And, oh, great job to pick it off. She tries to get her foot to the ball, but just couldn't. And then out the near side, great job. And are they going to get called? No, it's good play on, as it was just late. Up on that far side there is Kathy Oha, one of the Minnesota players. She's taken down, and it's going to be holding the ball. And the call on that is if you have the ball and you're tackled, you do have to get rid of the ball legally.
Yeah, and two fair disposals are either a handball where you hold ball with one hand, punch with another, or a kick, of course.
Yeah, of course. And if you're not able to do that, then it's a free kick. You do, however, or you are given at least a reasonable opportunity to get rid of it, and if not, the ball, then it's a ball up. Picking it up there is Terry Tupper, one of the smallest players on the field, but certainly one of the most tenacious. The Shepard takes her down, takes man down, and then kicked out of bounds as it rolls by Jessica Bletcher, who is one of the more experienced players for the Portland
So a
team.
little bit of grey sky clearing, lifting the overcast, getting a little warmer here already, just after 9:15 in the morning.
I'm surprised you all living in the Northwest, you all know what that giant glowing ball in the sky is, although that might be Seattle. Shepard again. And then ping-pongs off and right to Danielson. Danielson gets away from Tupper with a high tackle. I don't know how someone that short could get a high tackle. But right to Paige Kicker, who is the hero in that game against Denver that we were talking about in the lead-up. She kicked the game-winning goal after the siren. Almost marked. It's juggled around. Hartman can't get it for Sacramento, and then picked up again there. It looks like was Bletcher again. As Bletcher can't get to it, she finds a hand pass. Long kick. Nice mark by Katie Clatt.
Well done. Plucked out of the sky.
And that's why the AFL has an eye on her, folks, for the league next year. As she kicks it up on that far side, it's a worm burner. Kicker able to get to it again. She runs on. She squares up, cuts to the inside, handballs it on. Little 1-2 action. Going after it was one of the Portland players, and then handballs around again. That's Paige Kicker. Kicker will kick that one in short. It's going to hop, and it will go out of bounds. Now, if it found the field of play, it'll be a boundary throw-in by our boundary official, and it looks like it was.
So it's definitely the Portland, Minnesota offense up against the Sacramento defense, and it's quite a contest.
Yes, as I mentioned, Sacramento with Clatt, who right now is getting a lot of the ball. Mackenzie Sakura, who's chasing after it now, is very good. She is able to get it away from Smooter, but then it's Kicker again for Minnesota, who picks it up, or for Portland rather, the Sockeyes, and then it ping-pongs around. Quokka's in there. Nice little handball out the back door there to Paige Meyer, and then the ball is tied up and close. The umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor, and we'll have a ball up. Glad you're with us here, the Western Regional Tournament here in Salem, Oregon. Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally. 1-0 the score. Great to have you along here in the Western Regional Tournament as the ball is kicked on by the Sockeyes. Gains all of about 5 meters. Serpico picks it up. Nice little handball. There's the kick. Oh, and she just came off the side of the foot. There was Blecker, one of the other Portland players, and that's through for a behind. So another point to the Sockeyes, and then it's 2-0 the score.
So definitely a tale of offense versus defense. We still haven't seen the Suns get up in the 50.
Yeah, it's the unstoppable force and the unmovable object. And right now, the unmovable object is budging a little bit backwards as Clatt is tied up, and she's thrown to the ground by Oha for the Steelheads, and the ball goes down to ground. Everyone mushroom farming, throw a blanket over 10 players, and we'll have a ball up. Usually in Australia, the ball is bounced, but here, because the grounds are softer, it's thrown up as Clough loses out again on the hit out to Shepard. Subway ball looking for Portland, and then that one is kicked and smothered nicely by the Portland forward liners. Shepard is taken down by Carly Hartman, or rather that's by Clough, 23, and another ball up. So stoppage footy here.
Here we go.
Ball back in the air. Controlled. Clough gets it on to her left, finds Sakura. It did travel, or rather that's O'Connor. So now the ball, so the mark, if the ball travels 15 meters or more, then it's a free kick. So you'll hear a lot of whistles. The handball was to Clatt, who didn't get a decent kickoff, but able to find Owen win in the end. And here comes Sacramento with their first foray in some time, but they turn it right over to Lizzie Even, one of the Minnesota players on this Sockeyes team, up the left side, almost a nice sliding mark. And then they kick that one on and finding Smooter, who will go up the left side, but it's marked nicely. That's Clough, 23.
Well done, Clough. Yep.
Clough is going to be very important. She's actually developed pretty well as a ruck over the last season or two, especially in this region when you have such good rucks. Shepard is one of them. We'll see Brett Brower from San Francisco a little bit later on today as well, Anthony. How important is it, and we talk about it, but how important is it to have a good ruck?
You know, the ruck is so critical. I think there's a lot to learn. Girls that come over from different sports do well if they've had a good volleyball, basketball background, etc. But as you see, we're getting right into the tough stuff here again.
Yeah, great tackle by Shepard, but Elizabeth Danielson was able to find it. O'Connor, nice Shepard.
Great check.
A good bump thrown in by Paige Kicker, who throws it on the right. She's gotten a lot of touches early, but it's marked defensively there by the Suns. Didn't catch the number, but she'll have a free kick up on that far side. So she'll go back, she'll go in short, but right to Simone Shepard. So we're playing a little bit of aerial ping pong at the moment.
So, you know, those players you talked about before, Brian, with just the number of disposals and touches that they can get, just so critical to the team's success, being able to move the ball around, put pressure on the competition.
And when you say disposals...
Yeah, so we want to get touches on the ball. We want a disposal is either a handball or a kick away. It's basically just a good stat for us to follow the involvement of the player in the game.
Exactly, and that's a key stat if you're talking about statistics in Aussie rules. Obviously, because it's a little bit different sport, there's different things to look for, and that as you say, that's how important.
Maybe field hockey would be a good comparison with points. You know. Sorry, ice hockey.
Yeah, there you go. Well, field hockey as well. I don't think it's as much. Here's Quokka for Sacramento out of the ball up. She kicks a worm burner, win, gets away from Kicker. Kicker hauls her down. And let's see if she had prior opportunity. No, she did not.
She did
So
not.
we'll have a ball up. Chloe, again, this time against kicker, who's getting a little bit more involved, finds Shepard, and she's taken down. Ball goes to ground, picked up by Blecker. Oh, big hit by Clatt, and that'll spring her teammates the other direction.
So we're on the counter.
Here we go. Long kick inside. Squilla tried to soccer it and couldn't. Keeping it on is Jessica Smith, number 18, but she can't get to it. And Sockeyes, again, will be able to get to it. Way too many teammates. O'Connor into the middle for Danielson. Tries to duck under kicker. She's taken down and didn't see a signal from the umpire initially. It looks like it's going to be a ball up.
So Nguyen off ball there, really adjusting to the counter-attack, getting up to the front, trying to offer support for the forward line.
Game action again. It was a kick just through to the fence, but good job by Wynn as she is bumped off the ball again, and then a short kick in short. And again, here's kicker. That has to be about her 15th touch as they come out to the near side. Schoenagel bats it forward away from Blecker and then picks it up nicely. She just gets it away. Here is Elaine Schreiber who finds Schoenagel again. That kick is smothered by Shepard, who also isn't all over the place. We're seeing a lot of players who are very involved with the ball. Blecker gets knocked down and then picked up, and here again is Schreiber, who goes into the middle, overcooked the kick there, looking for the number 19 who we have unlisted, and then straight into the middle as she goes in short. Not the most effective of handballs, and then they run it forward ever so slightly. The ball is still loose, however, and then almost picked up, it looks like, by Smooter on that far side.
So a little bit of fatigue setting in. We're closing in on the last couple of minutes here of the first half.
Yep, as we get down towards, again, 2 20-minute halves. Each of these teams will play 3 games on the day. The team with the best record will be the women's champion. And, of course, we also have Division II and Division I on the men. Quokka is stripped and dispossessed by Oha. Here is Kathy Oha. She's going to run inside. It's a lone line drive. Oh, it just ricocheted off her own player in Pop. But then good job to get in. Quokka is going to get her and try and clear the danger as best as she can. Blecker is digging in after it nicely. She's shepherded off the ball there by Chloe. Second effort for both players is good, and Chloe does a great job to allow Quokka to get to the ball, and then kicks that one up on the near side, but great mark defensively by Simone Shepard.
Fantastic, and Quokka was just digging deep, really contributing for the team there. Had 2 or 3 attempts to really get them out of trouble.
I'll tell you what, it's only 2-0, but there is no short of excitement or effort by either team as the ball goes up, and it will roll, and it will it'll just stay in play. Blecker from the pocket. It's a tough angle, but there is Clatt once again showing why, again, she is one of the best defenders in the USAFL on the women's side. Looking for Quokka out on the near side. She's going to have 2 bites at the cherry, and then picks it up with a great shepherd by Schreiber. And she goes up. Here's kicker. Whoop, she fell down. And now it's Wynn going on after it against Oha. Oha is being held. And then picking it up as Shepard. She was taken down by O'Connor. The umpire right there. He doesn't call anything. Vongroth is in there for the Sockeyes.
Oh, we're scrapping now.
Yeah, a little bit of scrapping, and then thrown down was Schreiber by
Shepard put a full stop on that one.
Yep. She put the kibosh. She said, no. Great punch out by Chloe. Let's see if they can run on, and they do. This is Schreiber. She's going to go backwards to Schoenagel. Good idea. And she goes up forward looking for Chloe, but it bounces through. The handball into Shepard. Shepard will throw around, and nice job to find Serpico. Serpico's going to play on immediately. Great job. Great mark again.
Plucked out of nowhere.
Plucked out of the air there by, I believe that was Hartman, and they look out on the near side looking for Quokka, who can't handle it. The ball bobbled over and out and go out of bounds. We're seeing a lot of dedication to the ball here, Anthony, and that's leading to some good marks on both sides.
There's a lot of hunger to get to that ball and really make it tough.
Chloe just bats the ball out of bounds. Now, on these throw-ins, you can't actually catch the ball. I mean, you technically are allowed. However, once you are touched, it's holding the ball. So the idea is to tap it to a teammate. As Clatt with a handball into the middle. It's speared on. Georgiadis is going after it for the Sockeyes. Into the middle looking for 19, who finds Clatt, who's cutting through. She has license to move up. She bowls over kicker, gets to the ball herself. She'll run. It's a low kick. It's an empty goal square. It's going to roll. The chase is on. The ball's going to die, however. And then just getting back to kick it was the defender there. think that's kicker again. No, it isn't. That's Lizzie Even. Even's going to get to it. She's socking on, just got to pick it up.
There.
She finally does, just gets it away out to the near side, but the Suns have numbers. There's a good shepherd thrown again by Schreiber, who's been all over the place. Even is in there again against Wynn for Sacramento, and she gets sat on by Oann Wynn. She's still able to get the ball away on a nice disposal. Finds Schreiber, who goes into the middle. Digging after it again is kicker. She throws a shepherd to get Tara Krugel the chance to get the ball, but she turns it over. There's a kick by Schreiber. It's going to roll, and it's going to take a right turn, stay in the field of play as Jessica Smith keeps it in for Sacramento. She handballs it into the middle, even trying to get it out of there for the Sockeyes. Still tied up in that corner, and finally the Sockeyes able to try and get it away.
A minute's a long time in football. We were just talking about the Sockeyes on attack at the other end.
Yeah, and here they come now back the other direction. Kicker able to get it up on that far side. Finds Serpico, a little 1-2 do-side-o action. And now getting chased. Can she get away? Just got the ball away nicely. No.
Nabbed by Clatt.
No, it was. No, great job. Great job of pursuant there. And that was all the Sockeyes defender as they were able to get force the turnover. Great job, or rather by the Suns, by O'Connor. Actually, it looks like they might have caught them high. But in any event, the Suns had it, and now we'll have a ball up on that far side as we get pretty near getting towards the tail end of this first half, rather. We're only in the first half. We've only been sitting here not even 20 minutes. My goodness.
A lot of action in this game.
Oh, my goodness.
These ladies are out there running hard.
And you know what? It shows the quality of women's footy.
Absolutely.
And here is Serpico looking into the middle, trying to give it back to kicker, but couldn't, as Quokka's going to go in. Quokka wearing the skull cap. She suffered a concussion at Nationals last year. There is the siren.
Time for a breath. Time for a spell.
Oh, my goodness. I'll
tell
you
what. Get out the water bottles and the oranges.
I'll tell you what. These girls have definitely earned it, and I guess we have to an extent as well. A lot of fury in that opening 20 minutes, but only 2 scores to show for it. It's 2-0. Your thoughts on that first half, Anthony? Very action-filled first half.
We talked about the immovable object and the unstoppable force, and it seemed to be all Sockeyes on attack in that first, 3/4 of the half. The Suns' defense was there. It was up to it. It was solid. They were supporting each other. They got a lot of good work at the back. Quokka, I thought, was excellent.
Yeah. And Clatt, of course.
Clatt, of course.
Yeah.
And so, let's see how this balances out. I thought the Suns might have snuck away with a goal there at the end. They really put the pressure on those last 2 minutes. Got some good counter-attack, got a break, supported well up through the front line. So let's see how we go in the second half.
Yeah, I think both teams were unlucky not to come away with a goal of that. But, hey, if you enjoyed the first half of that, you won't want to miss the second half. When we come back, the score once again, it's the Sockeyes 2, the Suns 0. We'll be right back for the second half of this one. You're watching the 2016 USAFL Western Regional Tournament here on CCTV.
Great competition and a feeder competition there to the AFL.
You're the truest form of an athlete playing footy. You got to cover long distances, got to be able to have endurance, be quick, athletic, sprint, be strong, and have skill at the same time. And I think that if you fancy yourself an athlete, this is a sport.
Well, everyone plays offense and defense, and everyone is a skilled player. You need to have reasonable endurance, reasonable speed, reasonable strength. There's no restrictions on how tall you need to be. Some guys can be, high 6 feet. Some people are in their 5'5", so it doesn't discriminate against anyone. Anyone can play. The thing that Americans would find particularly exciting about it is the fact that it's so fast-paced. The game's continuous. It doesn't stop. The game just continues to keep rolling.
Future of the game, I think that we need to get into more colleges. You look at a team like Minnesota and what they're able to do with college scholarships. Kids going over to Australia for a semester and then come back and they're helping with Minnesota's team. I think that's where our real development's going to come in, and I think we need to really foster the college game.
It's a sport that's really growing, not only in Australia but all around the world. And there's been a few signings of young American college players in the last few years that have made the transition to our sport and done really well.
So a wide range of ages and fitness levels, and it's really a sport for anybody.
So I looked up Aussie rules on YouTube and I thought it was really cool, and that's how I found out about it.
It brings together certain elements from all different sports. Sometimes you might not be the top 1% of a particular sport, but you can use what you know about that sport and and it all is applied very well in Aussie rules football.
Just check out if there's a club in your local area, and from my own experience, both Aussies and Americans in the club are really welcoming, and they took good care of me, so they'll definitely look out for you, and it's a good time.
And welcome back to Capital FC training complex, soccer complex here in Salem, Oregon. Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally, the 2016 USAFL Western Regional Tournament here on CCTV. We're just about set for the second half of this opening game of the women's division between the Sockeyes, a combination of the Portland and Minnesota teams, and the Sacramento Lady Suns. And it's 2-0 the score. The Sockeyes team is in the lead. And Anthony, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of action in that first half. It's definitely belying of the scoreboard, but good to see both teams going hard at the ball.
Oh, yeah, and we were talking off camera. I mean, if you think about the Lady Suns and the defensive work they had to do, with Clatt's really kept this game close.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, she is heading to Australia to play for Melbourne University. She and Kim Hemingway actually played at the Sydney Cricket Ground back in April. The umpire holds the ball aloft, and the second half of this one is underway. Simone Shepard, who's been omnipotent early on, gets it as Georgiadis with a little bit of a handball, and then thrown to the ground. Was it a good tackle? Yes, it was. Simone Shepard wins another free kick. She is absolutely tenacious. She is in there, and again, that's her gridiron. As a great job coming through was Paige Kicker. She has also touched the ball a lot. Good job of running through with the handball. Long kick inside 50, and now going after it there is Kathy Oha, number 7. She handballs it off. A nice little left-handed handball. Serpico. It looks like the Harlem Globetrotters weave in there, and then going up in short, looking for Blecker, who keeps it to her own advantage. Great job as she kicks that one in towards goals. It's a one-on-one contest. And Kiara Adamo back in the fullback, able to sell some candy to get away from her pursuer. And then she finds a teammate in Harvey, but it's a pick-off. Here is Oha. Oha kicks for goal, but guess who? Katie Clatt is Johnny on the spot, or rather Jenny on the spot, if you will. She comes out to the near side looking for Schreiber. Schreiber will go into the middle. It sits up for 11 in there, which is Zaya McSky, who definitely has my vote for the best name on ground, but it's turned over. Klatt's going to get it free up on the near side pocket. She gets it out of there, and a good stabby kick where she finds Chloe, and Chloe will come out to the near side looking for Win, and there is Georgiadis again. Handballs it over the top looking for Shepard, who is wrapped up immediately by Chloe and then thrown down after the whistle. Nothing really in that. I think she was just following the play through while the ball up. Again, that theme here in the early going of just that tight play, but the ball's moving pretty well.
Yeah. We've seen the ladies get into their kicking too. We've got a bit more accuracy opening the second half.
Here's Clatt with her left foot. She can kick with either foot. Getting in there was a kicker, and then following it up was Ray Hale, another one of the Minnesota players. This is not uncommon at division. So last year at Nationals for the women's division, we saw actually Division 1 and Division 2. Division 1 was all standalone sides, but Division 2 we saw combined sides. We have another one that you'll see a little bit later on, Seattle and Vancouver, with a couple of players from Arizona as well. So not uncommon in the USAFL or in the women's game. Clatt with a huge kick, looking for a target, couldn't find her, however. Ball goes to ground. Georgiadis is nudged off the ball by Squilla, who then holds her off the ball. And now here is Clatt, who has run up from the back line into the middle, looking for Smith again. Smith can't get to it, and then picked up defensively, but a good job by Smith to stay with the ball. And it is holding the ball, so a good tackle by Smith.
Yeah, Smith on Ochatz there. Ochatz. So here we go. We're going to have an attacking opportunity for Sacramento, trying to set up the kick.
Yeah, Danielson is there. It took her 3 times even, has a grasp on her, but a good job to find Smith. Smith is going to get tackled by Shepard, and that is holding the ball. That is a clean tackle. Once you're in the grasp, you have to dispose of the ball. Smith didn't do it in time. Free kick to Shepard and the Sockeyes. So 2-0 the score. You see the score in the lower left-hand corner. The G is the goals. That's the kicks between the 2 big sticks in the middle. Those are 6 points each. The B's are behinds. Those are 1 point each. And then the T is your total score, so 2-0.
Yeah, so we're 3 minutes 30 in here, second half.
20-minute halves, and as we mentioned, all these teams will play 3 games. As Danielson has it, she has a pretty reasonable kick. It's going to come from about 35 meters out. So here is Liz Danielson.
Cleaned up by Shepard.
Cleaned up by Shepard, however.
Big torpedo.
Yeah, great job. And finds a mark.
Tell you what, there was a lot of traffic there. That was well taken.
This Sockeyes team is half Portland players, half Minnesota, and I'll tell you what, they're running as if they've been one unit that have been playing together for some time, especially considering that a lot of the Portland girls are relatively new. As they play that up on that far side, and then kicked on by the Sockeyes, heading for goal, looking for Adamo. There is Poff. She was knocked down by Adamo and then knocked down, and yeah, that's going to be tackling without the ball. So you can't tackle somebody if they don't have the ball. So it's a free kick to Nafla Poff, who played for the USA Liberty. That's the development team of the national team. She actually went to Melbourne for the international cup.
Yeah, that's a good 40 metres out, so she'll try and set that up for one of her teammates here just outside the goal square. So a lot of movement in front of the stick.
It's almost like a wide receiver making a slant route, if you will. 1-on-2 contest. Clatt was able to clean it up for Sacramento, and then going to ground is Oha for the Sockeyes, and it's tied up and another ball up.
So a lot more intent from the Suns this half in terms of attack, and I don't know if it's a coincidence, but in the first few minutes there, we saw Clatt push up to midfield as well.
Yeah, and you know what? She'll have the license to do that. We'll talk about that because I think it'll be important. Especially with her looking to get into the AFL. Here is Shepard. Tried to sell some candy, but Schoenagel said, no, I'm on a sugar-free diet, and couldn't get to it. And then she stays with it and takes down Blecker, but then Klo is back to clear it out. Wynn will pick it up on a couple of hops. Couldn't do it cleanly, however. And now going in after it is 17,
Tupper,
which is Terry Tupper once again. They all look the same height from here, Anthony.
Yes. So Nguyen got that away quickly. There we go.
There we go. Looks like it's going to be tackling off the ball, I think. Yes, and it's a free kick to Helen Mondia Harvey, and the Suns will have a chance. That, as we mentioned, they have one of the best defenses. The offense is still coming around, and with Klo playing as well as she has been, that should change. And speak of the Devil, she takes the ball, long kick, looking in for number 19, who again we don't have a name for. Hope to get that for you. Georgiadis is down there for the Sockeyes. She tries to get it out. She can't. The umpire crosses his arms, and we'll have a ball up on the near side. Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally. Glad to have you as well. This Western Regional Tournament, United States Australian Football League. Hope you're enjoying the great game of the Australian rules football, and in our biased opinion, the greatest sport on the world. Here is Serpico with a long kick. Great. Almost marked by Oha, who usually claims those. Clatt is there to clean up the crumbs. Looking for Danielson, who got a mid onto it but couldn't claim it. And there is Shepard, who picks it up, goes right. Little handball up to the near side, who finds Serpico. Serpico's going to square herself up, goes inside, one-on-one contest. Clatt almost took the mark. It goes down the ground. It goes. Big Shepard by Schoenagel, who finds Schreiber on the near side. Schoenagel's been very involved. Schreiber's been very involved as well. She takes a long kick out to the near side over the head of her teammate. Here is kicker at a full momentum coming back in the other direction. Clatt with a mark.
Wow, plays on quickly. There's a half break here.
Here we go. They are queuing up in the middle of the field for Katie Clatt. She takes a bounce, kicks that one up on the far side, but almost marked there by, it looks like Von Groth for the Sockeyes up on that far side.
So we're seeing that attacking intent, really trying to counterattack hard.
Here is 11, who is McSky again for the Sockeyes, and McSky skies the ball, or something along those lines, as it's still up on that far side, up towards that pocket. And a long kick again. Shepard couldn't get to it as she was backing up Poff. Harvey is over there in deep. And now a handball to Shepard. She's held, but still gets a kick in towards the sticks. It's going to roll, and it's going to bounce over and out. So that's actually pretty advantageous to the Sockeyes, as it'll be a boundary throw in right in the shadow of their target.
So a throw in just missed her behind.
So when the ball rolls out of bounds like that, or when it's touched, it's a throw in. However, if it's kicked and it goes straight out, it's a free kick.
Yeah, on the full, we call that in Australian football.
Because you Aussies have a way with because you Aussies have a way with words.
Absolutely.
And up on that far side, Clatt was taken down. There's kicker with a little bit of candy. It ping-pongs around. Georgiadis is there to try and clean it up. She's harassed by Cuoca, and then a handball back. That's McSky who got it back. Sakura's back there once again to get it up. She rumbles through and kicks that one out on the far side. It's going to roll, and stay in play. Or did it? No. I was surprised. I thought it had gone out of bounds, but in fact, it's a boundary throw-in.
So I was seeing some twinkle toes from the Sockeyes, really in that traffic, being able to move the ball around, get some short disposal handballs.
They have moves like Jagger, or at least like Barishnikov, or something along those lines.
Well, Jagger's had some moves lately, according to the news as well. He's going to be a father for the 8th time at 72.
Oh, good for him. Up in the pocket, Clatt is all by herself, but the ball's going out of bounds. Just a note, if you like what you're seeing and you want to follow along with all the action going on in the United States Australian Football League, check out our website at USAFL.com. And if you're on social media, and let's face it, who isn't when they're not looking at Pokemon, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/USAFL and on Twitter at USAFL1997.
So we've had another whistle. We're going to have a free kick here, tackle without the ball. So Portland have earned a possession here, earned a free kick. So we're going to see Serpico.
Heather Serpico, who is in her 4th year in the USAFL. She was with the New York Lady Magpies. She actually moved out to Portland, and
everybody's doing it.
Yeah, and it is, and put a bird on it too. She's one of those players who is dedicated, and the Sockeyes have been around since 2014, I believe, and this club's gotten a real shot in the arm. Serpico, as we just speak about her, just gets the ball back. She's held up. Ball goes to ground once again. Still 2-0. The Sockeyes with the lead. Here is Danielson, who rumbles through, kicks it on. She picks it up, looking for a little bit of a don't argue. She picks it up. She's still setting herself up for the kick. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking mongrel kick straight into the middle of the ground. Schreiber couldn't pick it up. She's muscled off the ball there by Oshots, and then continuing on. Great job again, straight into the middle of the park, and then picking it up again is Hartman. Up on that far side, it's picked up by the Sockeyes. They'll kick it back into the middle. It stays in play for Cuoca. Cuoca picks it up, just gets it onto her left foot. Didn't travel very far, maybe all of about 2.5 meters, but she stays with it, but the ball was out of bounds anyway. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
Tell you what, Brian, for people new to the game, I think that it certainly is eye-opening, the amount of running and the amount of fitness and the amount of skill that these ladies are showing, and you'll see throughout the day. It is certainly not as much stop-start as maybe some people might be used to, or as structured. It's very loose, a lot of running, and a lot of vision.
Win with a kick towards goal, and did she get her foot to it?
How's that?
No, it didn't.
Forced it behind?
Oh, it was a behind, and I think what ended up happening there, so the ball has to be actually kicked through, and I think Schreiber actually touched the ball with her hand before it went over. So it took about 25, 26 minutes as we take a look at it on the replay.
So let's have a close look here.
Just shepherded off the ball. Oh, wow, that was close.
Very, very close.
Very close.
So we had a hand to it?
It looked like she had a hand to it, and almost looked like, so if it would have come off of her foot
only,
then it would have been a goal. That was about 50-50, and usually when it's 50-50, I give it to the goal umpire. So it's 2-1 the score. Sacramento finally getting something, and here they are again.
Yeah, so we're in the 12th minute. That would have been good timing.
And now here comes Tupper out of the back. Long kick up that far side. And in one hop, and there's Clatt, who, as you mentioned, Anthony, is pushed up a little bit. She bootlegs around, kicks that one to the middle. All by herself is Danielson, but she couldn't take the Willie Mays catch. And then throwing after it there is one of the Suns players. And then a kick up through as the Sockeyes trying to hit on the counter. It rolls into the cow paddock. Damo from the back line rumbles through, picks it up. She gets through. She tries to handball it to herself. A scissor kick out of the air. Points for style, but not for execution. And then it's soccered along the ground. Somebody's got to pick that up, and finally Danielson does. Gets it as far as Clatt, who is there, and that's what the vice captain does. Clicks that one into the middle. Looking again for Sakura, and then ball goes to ground and a whistle and a ball up in the middle. Lots of action in the middle of the field, and still just a 1-point game.
So about 7 minutes to go. Very, very tight game, very evenly matched.
Kicked forward again, And here's Wynn. Wynn with some opportunity so far. Tupper gets in there and knocks her off the ball. Great job. And then following up again is kicker. Great job of a Shepherd by Tupper. The handball doesn't come off terribly well. And then here comes 19. But again, it's Georgiadis, who again is playing stout defense and really all over the place. Looking out to the near side, they continue it on. And then here is Blecker, who does a good job to Shepherd, the irony or the coincidence. She takes a bounce. She runs through. She gets away from O'Connor, pops that one up high in the air, and it is marked nicely by McSky for the Sockeyes.
She plucked that one out of there.
Just reached up into the apple tree and plucked that one down and took a bite out of it. Long kick inside 50. It's going to roll. The Sockeyes have numbers going after it and trying to pick it up, and then Clatt says, no ma'am. And then she's tackled as she goes onto the ball, and we'll have a ball up as Blecker was in there a little bit too late, but a good job to prevent Oha from getting the ball by Katie Clatt. Oha against Hartman in the ruck. Sakura picks it up. Oha fells her like a tree. And then Eris Clatt again doing work to try and get it out. She does the Klo. Great job of a disposal. Long kick. It's going to fall in front of Schreiber, who wasn't tall enough. Kicker is, however. She gets it onto her left foot. Up the corridor, up that left side. Digging after it again is Blecker. Blecker won't get to it. She's kept to it. Schoenagel drags her down. Just got a handball off. Keeping with it is number 8 for Portland. Handballs it up and in the middle. Here is Shepherd. She has a kick for goal. It doesn't come off terribly well. It's off to the side. It finds the field of play. It's going to roll and find the boundary line. Yes, and out of bounds for a throw.
Yeah, so Shepherd had good distance there. Couldn't quite snap it back over the left shoulder. Definitely some fatigue setting in, I'd say. About 5 minutes to go here in the second.
2-1 the score. The Sockeyes, the combination of the Minnesota Freeze and the Portland Sockeyes. We're calling them the Sockeyes because they're wearing those brand new Sockeyes jumpers. And the Sacramento Lady Suns won. And the Sockeyes will be okay with this, but not with that, as the ball is kicked out of bounds on the full. As we mentioned, the ball is going straight out of bounds on the fly. So it'll be a free kick for the Lady Suns, as they'll have a chance to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and draw up something new.
So let's get them out of here. So we have our score 2-1. Very tight match, very evenly matched teams. Here we go. There's a counter break for the Portland team.
Towards, nope. I think that's
tough angle for us in the booth here.
Yeah. It all looks the same from here, Anthony. And it's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a free kick for Kira Adamo, who also played in the 49th Parallel Cup, but straight into the hands of Simone Shepherd. And I'll tell you what, those are two hands you do not want to find when you do a turnover. So the kick will be from about
50, close to 50 yards.
And she has the leg for it. She's setting up. So Shepherd, to extend her team's lead, the kick is on the way. It's not the greatest of kicks. It was a ski jump ball over the top, and here is Schoenagel, who again will get it out of danger, looking for Georgiadis. Almost found Georgiadis up on that far side, almost marked. And then here is Shepherd. Shepherd with the outside of the boot. It didn't find the distance. A Shepherd is in there, but knocked again. And then second effort at the ball there by the Portland defender there, and Jessica Nelson. The ball comes off of a shin. Time running down as we are at about, I think, 3 minutes to go.
There was half a yard in that, but Portland is still pushing.
Here they go, and now they still keep it in. And I'll tell you what, even if they don't score, they don't mind the ball being on this side of the field, but Adamo with a good defensive mark coming up from the fullback position.
Will that get him out of jail? That was quite a bit of pressure to soak up.
They need more leads, and they have a couple more, and the problem is that they need to be cognizant of where the defenders can kick to, because Schreiber was up here, and she was probably one kick away from where they needed to be, and it looks like a push in the back, which you absolutely cannot do, and it'll be a free kick to guess who? Simone Shepherd again with, it looks like Klo on the mark.
So similar distance from the opposite side of the field.
Probably a little bit more of an acute angle. She throws it onto the right.
That struck very nicely.
It's spinning back. It came off well off the boot. Almost marked by Serpico. Second chance. Taken down by Sakura. Adamo will kick that one along the ground. Harvey can't get to it. Turning it around is Oha. She goes to the right, goes to the left, kicks that one in short. It's going to roll and find the boundary line as Bilka was in there for Sacramento, but couldn't keep the ball from going out.
That 10-meter arc of the boundary line has seen some work today.
It has, especially in tight. But I'll tell you what, as was mentioned before, the Sockeyes will be perfectly okay with that. As number 8 unable to pick that up for for Portland. The kick, that one is in. It's across the face of goal, however, and here is Clatt. She's going to have to find, she has a Schreiber if she wants her. She has to get it off in a hurry, but she put a little too much angle on the kick. And then here is Kicker, who comes through. She's going to have a shepherd from Georgiades. She'll line up, But the kick is across the face of goal, but it's marked defensively by Harvey.
So we're in the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, in the final 2 minutes. There's another field across the way, and that's where we might have heard the siren, but about 2 minutes to go. Yeah, the ball's up on that far side. Sacramento's got to get some leads going. They've got to get more numbers around the ball.
So Sockeyes holding the slenderest of margins.
Kick.
Slenderest of margins here into the last minute or so.
So here is Shepard. One of the things we talk about is that this is very much a 3D game. You have to run in numbers and you have to be an option. And it's okay to go backwards to go forwards. So here is Shepard, who is fancying a chance, and I think that's more or less to take some time off the clock. Long kick into the popcorn machine, and then picked up
the crumbs
by
that
one
come
of
out
the
for
players, and I think one of the Sockeyes players was hurt as she walked away from the play, and then thrown that one on to the left. It's a rainbringer. McSky can't get to it, and it rolls out of bounds or towards the boundary line, and then kicked up and still on that far side. And over and out for a boundary throw-in. Again, the score 2-1. The Sockeyes in the blue leading the Sacramento Lady Suns in the red. And I'll tell you what, even though there's only been 3 scores, there's been no shortage of action. There's been no shortage of intensity.
Well, we're in the red on the time clock here too.
Here's the free kick for the Sockeyes. It goes down. Clatt with a breakaway speed gets in there and clears it out. Now they got to get something forward. They got to do it in a hurry, and the Sockeyes are not letting them. Georgiades' kick.
Ooh.
Oh, and cleaned up at the top, but that is it. Full time at the football, and the Portland Sockeyes and the Minnesota Freeze, that combination, I believe that was it.
Yeah, the ladies are congratulating each other.
Yep, and that is it. So I'll tell you what, as I just mentioned, even though there wasn't a whole lot of fancy numbers on the scoreboard, that was a very intense game of Australian football and a great way to kick things off. The final score, the Minnesota Freeze 2, the Sacramento Lady Suns 1. Your thoughts on this game? A lot of intensity, a lot of running in numbers, and a lot of very key players getting their hands to the ball.
No, absolutely. And we talked about some players before the game, and those names came through with a lot of disposals, a lot of touches, a lot of ground coverage. We also saw some of the players, maybe with a little less experience, grow into the game. You know, I think Zaya McSky did well as the game matured. We saw Terry Tupper start to really get some checks on, shepherd well for herself and her teammates. And over on the Suns side, I mean, the defense held really firm the whole game.
Especially Clatt.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely a standout for the Suns, but, you know, it was good to see a few of the other girls. I thought Wen played very well in the midfield. She really tried to create opportunities for her teammates.
Schoenagel got a lot of touches as well for Sacramento.
Yep, and Chloe definitely made a good handful for the Sockeyes to close her down. So it was really good to see a good, exciting game of footy. A shame we didn't get some more goals, but I tell you what, it wasn't through lack of effort.
No.
And it wasn't through cohesion. You know, we talked a little bit about the Sockeyes being, you know, a hybrid team with the Minnesota and Portland groups, and they played like they were a team that's trained together.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and a lot of these girls do play, some of these girls do play together at the national level, and it's great to see that cohesion, especially when we talk about the International Cup Championship being hosted in Melbourne next year, not only for the women but also for the men. So hope you enjoyed this game of Australian football. We have much more with you. We hope you'll stick around for another game when we bring it to you. Look, once again, the final score from the Capital FC soccer ground here in Salem, Oregon. It's the Minnesota Freeze Portland Sockeyes 2, the Sacramento Lady Suns 1. For Anthony Lally, this is Brian Barish. We hope to see you again. We'll see you next time, and take care.
Thank you.
Support for tonight's program was provided by MAPS Credit Union, premier sponsor of Salem Kaiser Schools. Visit one of our convenient locations in the Willamette Valley or our website, mapscu.com. And by Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing since 1952. Experience the Les Schwab difference at your neighborhood Les Schwab Tire Center or visit us on the web at leschwab.com.
Back in February, 2 players from the USA went over to Australia to try out for the new Australian Football League women's competition, which begins next February in 2017. And one of them is the young lady to my left, Katie Clatt of the Sacramento Suns. Katie, first of all, congratulations on getting this far. Talk about the journey. How did you get involved in being able to go over to Australia?
Well, so at Nationals last year, I was approached by Shiloh Curtis, who had come over from Australia, and she knew that I had been interested in playing at some point in Australia, and she asked, what my goals were, and I was like, well, I'd like to play in Australia, but I don't really know what to do, how to go about it. Anyways, fast forward to, they announced the AFL female talent search in prep for their 2017 league, and that was to find women from other sports to play. So anyways, I showed up to the combine and I got invited back to the academy. I got to play in a game in April on the SCG, which is amazing, and now I've decided to move to try and play.
So you're going over to Melbourne University. How are you feeling ahead of that, playing where the game was born and all that other stuff?
Well, I'm very nervous, and it's going to be very different from here. I'm playing with girls that have played all their lives. They knew what footy was their whole life. Here, we're teaching everyone every day, and there, I'm going to be the one needing to be taught. So it's going to be a different role and a different experience, but I'm really excited about it.
Well, congratulations, and hey, best of luck. We'll have everyone here in the U.S. cheering for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Katie Clatt of the Sacramento Lady Suns.